and seemed to be a far cry from the final words of a man about to kill himself. According to psychologists at the rehabilitation centre Cobain visited only the week before, as well as close friends, no one suspected that he was suicidal, which, in light of his Rome suicide attempt, his overdose of champagne and Rohypnol a few months earlier, seemed suspicious. Kurt had written Courtney a note after that incident, which included one line, which she said was very definitely suicidal. Dr. Baker says, "I would have to choose between life and death." Kurt had written, "I'm choosing death." There is a theory that Cobain was quite simply terrified for his life after walking out on a $9.5 million contract to headline the Lollapalooza Music Festival, and that this inspired him to commit suicide. And the fact that the shotgun was loaded with 3 shells when the fatal deed was done could have been part of a plan to make his suicide look like murder. Strangest of all, police failed to find any fingerprints at all on the gun. Of course, perhaps Kurt had carefully covered his traces and wiped the gun down, but such behaviour is not what one expects from someone on the verge of suicide, and in any case, if it really was suicide, why the need for the big cover-up? The fact that Courtney and Kurt were not getting on well before his death would seem little justification for cold-blooded killing. However, she could have had several other possible motives. In January 1994, Cobain told Rolling Stone that he might well be divorcing Courtney. Apparently, divorce papers had already been drawn up by the time of his death, and it is believed that Courtney had instructed one of her lawyers to get the meanest, most vicious divorce lawyer she could find. Kurt had also hinted that he wanted Courtney taken out of his will, in which case she would have gained a lot more financially from suicide before the will could have changed than from the divorce. If Kurt were to die, sales for his band Nirvana would rocket and Courtney would benefit financially. The official line is that Kurt committed suicide by a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. In the days and weeks following his death, fans began killing themselves in empathy with their fallen hero. In light of this suicide rush, the backlash would have been devastating if police reversed their original judgment and opened a murder investigation. That is interesting. Very interesting. Conspiracy theories. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next time.